big selling point of this show that I would tell anybody would be just the character development, the relationship between these friends, how simple life was in the 80s. Like there's like the classic thing, like, how did you know where everybody was before it was social media? Well, the bikes are all outside this person's house. Like, and that's what this show is to me. And I love that because it's like this was it's such a lost time. And even the storytelling, how it doesn't have to be overly complicated, and it still like sinks, like it puts its hooks in you and it sinks you in, and there's a lot of real things that happen on the show, and there's a lot of real situations that happen, all while you have the whole mystical element that's going on in the background. It's very much in the background. It's wild the way that it does that, how the supernatural mystical thing that's happens in the background, but at the forefront is the relationship between these friends. And I think that's fantastic. I love that kind of storytelling, and I think it's awesome.
And what I've seen so far, I that's what I see so far, and sometimes I enjoy a show that you don't have to fully think about because you can just enjoy it.
It's just mindless entertainment.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
But I agree with you though so far, because that's from just the first episode I've seen, that's exactly what I'm getting, is there is a lot going on in the background, but it's focusing on this group of friends. And that's exactly how I grew up. That was the street I grew up on.
Yep.
You know, riding your bike until late at night, you know, everyone's bike was in one person's front yard. You know, you were all out in the woods. Your parents didn't know where you were half the time. You couldn't do that today.
No. But you could do that.
But
back even back in the 90s. Even back in the 90s, you could do that.
All
all
the time.
day. All day.
But why?
No
but
problems.
Why can't you do it today? Is it because nobody
creepos?
I don't think it's no, there were creepos before. I think you can't
Exactly.
do it. You can't do it today because nobody does it. Everybody's at home on their computers, playing their video games on their
Right.
phones. Like that's what everybody's doing today. You don't see that kind of thing anymore because it's like
it's because the technology today
Yeah.
separates people. There's a physical separation nowadays with the technology that we invest our time in. Even now, even us at our age, we've got our phones. That's our entertainment. That's what we do to learn things. It's what we do to pass the time. It's what we do to communicate. We don't go over to someone's house like, "Hey, is Jimmy home?" We don't do
Yeah.
that.
Right.
We never do that. We know if Jimmy's home because Jimmy's posting on social media where he is. You know, like
Right.
Pretty
there's no
much.
guessing anymore.
Pretty much.
So, I mean, perfect example. We had our high school reunion. I mean, geez, what was that? Years ago. You know, I had my 10-year, and I didn't bother going. So I'm just like, if I really cared, I'd just go onto Facebook. But guess what? I don't care to see these people. I don't care. No offense.
No.
You know, you all right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, the people that I went to high school with, I'm just like, even the ones that were friends with me back then, I'm like, I wouldn't be friends with me back then. Like the person I am now wouldn't be friends with that person. So why would I want to see these other people? I'm not being a jerk. I don't think I am. It's just we have the access to this technology, so there's no interaction that's necessary anymore.
I 100%
That's why
agree.
we're doing
And
this.
I agree with you on more than one point. I'm not going to my 20th next year.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Exactly. That's when it's coming
Absolutely
up.
not.
It's coming up. Or
Mine came and went.
Yeah, yours came and went.
My 20-year reunion came and went a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Mine's coming next year.
I mean, look at what we're doing right now. Chuck and I are in the same room. Will, you've never been in the same room.
No, you're absolutely right. And that brings me to another reason why I love the show. It's introducing another audience to what life was.
Yes.
I think that's fantastic. I think it's fantastic exposure. Like this is what younger millennials and Gen Zers missed out on completely.
Exactly.
100%. It's wonderful exposure. And the fact that the show's as popular as it is, I think that says something. Like, even if you didn't live it, you're living vicariously through these characters, and I think that's fantastic.
Well, that's what brings me back to, like I said, comparing it to The Sandlot. Because for me, The Sandlot was exactly that. I didn't live in the 60s, but The Sandlot gave me insight into what things were like back then.
But still, in the 80s and 90s, though, we still did similar things. I would play baseball with my friends out in the backyard.
Right.
I'd play football. And we
Right.
still did all the same things.
Well, because technology boomed in the mid-90s.
Right.
and it just I mean no
Early
I'd say
2000s.
early
Early
2000s technology took off because even before when cell phones existed, kids didn't have them.
No.
Right.
Now cell phones aren't cell phones anymore; they're pocket computers, and
Right.
you've got access to everything. I think it was Louis C.K. Who said something a while ago. It's like people don't wonder anymore, and it's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, think about it. You're at a point where it's like, I wonder how old kangaroos, get to be. Like how much do they age? Like what's their life expectancy? And you
Google
would
it.
sit there and just wonder it. And you would never really know unless you went to a library, looked it up, did some research. Now you can just be like, "Hey Google." Nope, I said it.
Mine just
Yeah.
got turned on.
Mine did too.
Yeah.
My watch, my phone, there you go, perfect example.
Yeah.
Now you just have to talk to a robot that picks up your voice and you get the answer immediately.
Right.
Like
I'm not
we're
gonna
living in
see.
this-
Listen, I'm not gonna poo-poo on that because I am the tech guy. I'm not.
I know.
I'm never gonna do
I'm not
that.
poo-pooing
I
on it.
agree
I'm just
with
saying,
you.
Like,
I don't want to sound like a creep when I say it, but I'm kind of gonna. I miss seeing a bunch of kids outside just playing. Like
Yeah.
that day is gone, and it's
It
sad.
is.
It's so sad that it's gone. So
it's not gone everywhere.
No.
I'll say this: my kids don't have a lot of TV time. They don't have a lot of screen time. I did get them like a drawing tablet, but that's all it does. It literally just draws, and then they hit a button and erases, and they start over again.
Etch-a-sketch.
That's the closest they have to their own screen. And it's
Etch-a-sketch.
great because
Etch-a-sketch. Just get them in.
it's basically an
Light-Bright.
Light-Bright.
We have Light-Bright, we have Etch-a-Sketch, and we have this tablet. Like we have the toys like that, but we don't sit there and say, "Here you go, kid. Here's an iPad,"
Right.
which so many parents do nowadays.
lot of
Or here you
parents
go,
do.
kid. Sit in front of the TV and watch this show.
When
Yeah,
I was
we had baby shows that the kids watched when they were babies, but now that they're able to do things and move around and think for themselves, we're like, here, make a craft. Here, go outside. Here, go have a sword fight with sticks.
Oh,
Get
Like,
hurt. Get
get
messy.
hurt.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
something.
get hurt. Go out, get hurt. Yeah.
Well,
Fall off
and then
your
wait
bike
for
and learn
daddy
how
to
to
go out
get
there
it.
and be like, hey,
Don't do that.
Go out there,
So-
fall down on your bike, learn how to pick yourself back up again, learn how to clean out that cut up bike. Like all of those things.
Yeah.
All of those
Right.
things.